As human beings, we are very passionate about forming opinions from the coziness of our couches and making big arguments about places we've never been, supported only by the warm light of our laptops or TVs. Yet, once we leave our safe places and start traveling the world, the learning we can do is astonishing. I've been fortunate to see 70 countries so far, and the memories I have are my fuel in this life. I like to think I've learned something along the way, and I love to share 10 things this journey taught me, which in fact are questions from you from social media. For some reason, we've built up this strange thing in our heads that a trip is going to destroy our bank account. But that's not the case. For me, even when I was a student and had a very tiny budget to cover my essentials, travel was an important part of it, as opposed to something I could potentially do if I had some extra cash. If we say that we only travel if we can afford a great hotel and some sort of a luxury thing, then this is just an excuse not to travel. When I started to travel, I was doing couch surfing in every single trip. So I was literally sending requests to strangers to stay at their places for a couple of nights, and this was 100% free. It was a win-win because the local wanted to learn from the traveler, language, culture, food, and so on, and me as a traveler, I wanted to enrich my travel experience with the local, in addition of a free night, of course. Sometimes when not doing couch surfing, I was booking cheap hostels around the world.
Es lo mejor que pudimos conseguir por 13-14 libras.
Same with flight tickets, food, and anything else. I didn't have money when I was studying and still managed to visit at least 10 new countries. These days there's so many options to travel at a reasonable price. Early on, when I was 17, 18 years old, I decided I just wanted a university degree and master so I could find a good job, to save money to travel, to see more places and start what I consider my real university of life. On Saturday night, we might only go out for Spanish or Italian cuisine, but that doesn't mean that Lithuanian or Slovenian food won't change our lives. In these two countries, I tried some sensational food and desserts. In Lithuania, I tried cepelinai. This is the national dish. They're essentially dumplings made from grated and riced potatoes and stuffed with ground meat or dry curd cheese and mushrooms. In Slovenia, I tried the best ice cream ever. Like seriously, I'm sorry for my Italian guys watching. To me, Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, is also the ice cream capital of the world. Trying out different food in different countries while traveling isn't just about taste. It's an adventure into what makes a country unique. I didn't know what it meant to be Argentina until I left Argentina. Abroad, I learned how the rest of the world perceived my home country, and I balanced that with my own feelings to get to the heart of who I was and where I came from. There are so many different views on education, healthcare, transportation, safety, finance, relationships, career, for instance. Being exposed to all these helps us get a sense of where our home country fits. On a personal level, I remember cheering on Argentina in the World Cup back in France. I had my national football shirt and I was watching football in the middle of a place I didn't want to be in those 90 minutes. It was in that moment that I truly understood I was Argentinian. Don't get me wrong, it's not about football. The connection between language and how we understand the world is something that has always fascinated me. Language is not just the way we communicate, but also how we think and what our culture, history and values are. I have a full video explaining how learning languages improved my life, but I truly think we need to be learning other languages to close the gap between us. The experience of learning and mastering new language is mind-blowing. When I finished university, I felt good I had a degree. That was truly nothing compared to the feeling of learning and mastering a new language. I cannot even put this into words. It's just a whole new thing. This shift in perspective has allowed me to travel without fear, but also to make friends around the world, understand how they live, what they like, what they really feel, and experience the kindness of humanity in multiple places. This is controversial, but I do believe the world history focuses primarily on the great powers. We don't necessarily get a deep understanding of enough countries around the world. From a travel perspective, this offers an incredible opportunity. I often think of the world as a blank map, and visiting a new country as the chance to paint that section with a color. Without biased opinions of how a place might look like or be like, you get to travel there and understand what it was and is like directly from the people. I remember catching a flight to Tirana some years ago for this very reason. I left Albania with a deep understanding of the struggle of the people in recent history, but also with admiration for their resilience. It's fine to be prepared for a trip, but there's no need to be the person who buys the entire shelf of books when going to China, Japan, Russia, Australia, Emirates, Iceland, Romania, Bulgaria, Latvia, Kosovo, and so on. In my humble opinion, there is such a thing as knowing too much. I always aim to use travel blogs to give me some context and confidence, but leave myself room to be impressed. What I mean is, there's something very interesting about learning something new from a guide or individual with a personal story when the place you're learning about is right in front of us. I remember one time in particular where I ended up visiting Angkor Wat in Cambodia, the largest religious structure in the world. I had a basic idea of the temples and monks, but actually seeing Buddhist monks in action in the temple with my own eyes and watching the rituals was mesmerizing for me. I probably could have seen something similar on YouTube, but the experience was not going to be the same. We live in a period where we only get credit for what we can show, but when it comes to travel, what really matters is what we experience. It's probably sarcastic I'm saying this because I have this YouTube channel where I show stuff, but like everything in life, it's about trying to find the right balance. And the truth is, if we don't take a break from our camera or phone and connect with the sunset or landscape on a personal level, then that photo or video won't mean much to us anyway. Documenting memories is completely fine, but put our phone or camera down sometimes and literally enjoy what we see might be a wise decision. When we travel, we're going to meet people that will change everything. They're going to change the way we think about the world, the way we view ourselves, and the way we look at everyone else around us. This person could be a stranger we meet on the way to another destination. It could be someone we meet at the bus stop. It doesn't matter how it happens, but one day it will. It might be a small conversation, a chat about the weather that leads to a chat about life and death. We may never see this person again. We may never have a conversation like that ever again. But one thing is for sure, we will never be the same. Waking up in another country or strange town is one of the most amazing feelings in the world. It's like being surrounded by adventure. Sometimes I feel like only when we're lost, we're starting to understand ourselves and see what we are capable of. I remember being in many countries with no internet and getting lost all the time. Literally, I had no clue where I was, but for some reason I still managed to find a way back. I think that life is a bit like that. We get lost and somehow we find a way back. For me, traveling is about discovering the unknown, and frankly, it feels good to be lost in the right direction. On the road, we learned just how little stuff we actually need. We realized that all the stuff they sell at the shopping center is pretty useless in leading a truly happy life. Coming home, we find ourselves a minimalist to a certain degree, simply because we realize what we actually need. The more stuff you own, the more your stuff owns you. Travel isn't just the experience we have when we leave our homeland, it's experiences we bring back, which change us in ways we could have never imagined. If you like this video, you might also want to check this video over here about 3 things to remember if we ever feel like quitting. Thanks for watching and see you next time.